up the rear of the funeral, and I didn't know until later that he had run a light and made an illegal U-turn to come and join the procession when he was basically the last car, and wouldn't let me around him as I tried to go around him several times, and he would just keep blocking me. When the roadway allowed me to go around, I tried to go around again. He wouldn't allow me, and I was losing sight of the funeral, and I couldn't keep it safe anymore because I was out of the distance of the funeral. And then later on, I want to say maybe a week later, when a lot of these accusations came up, we were going through video, and we seen where he actually ran the light, broke the U-turn, came back, and was holding me behind, and then reporting saying that I was driving erratic and trying to run him and his wife off the road with his kids in the car. Now, if you're a police officer and I'm driving erratic, by law, you're supposed to take that into account and pull me over. But why didn't you do that at that time? Because it wasn't true. I wasn't hired for the fuel possession part. I was hired for the tow part of it, which we linked up with a major company that did disaster relief for the state and for insurance companies. And it just happened that they needed help with a couple of funerals, so I went and helped them out with that. So that was my job. I wasn't 100% on funeral possessions at all the time. I was more of a tow truck driver. I was a repossession agent. I have a repossession license, and that's what we were trying to start going for when all this stuff started happening, and I had to back away because I couldn't let that affect my family at the time. I was pulled over by Riddler on the 429. I didn't have nothing in tow. I was in the tow truck, and he came up and pulled me over and said that I didn't signal long enough before I went into another lane to go around somebody. And when I told him the reason why I went around a person was because there was debris coming out of the pickup truck and his trailer, and he looked at me and said, "Well, I didn't see nothing." I was like, "Well, I didn't cause any accidents. I didn't cut anybody off. I put my blinker on, went around, put my blinker back on, went around him, and that's when you pulled me over." So there was no that I came out in front of nobody. He just noticed that it was a Metro State tow truck and wanted to know why was I driving a Metro State tow truck, and he was trying to take it to another level. And he's like, "Well, next time I catch you driving this truck, I'm gonna have your truck impounded." I was totally shocked at that because they were like best friends, when I started with the company. They were like right hand. When you seen all three. Jay helped them out a lot, lending them vehicles, lending them money that I've seen, helping them out in all types of things. And like I said, that's just like a big stab in the back. For what reason, I don't know. And I've tried giving one of them a job with the company I was working for, a repo company, and that's how I found out that he had multiple charges on him. And I was trying to help Photo get a job. That was my thing. He was a cool kid, young, and he needed a job. He was living with his girlfriend. And I was working with a company that, was doing repossessions and needed a camera person. But like I said, it just didn't work out. Like I said, now I probably know why, because he probably didn't have, because he had the charges against him, and can't have charges on you when you do repossessions. Like I said, I've seen people use lights and sirens in the company, but it was not something that was okay. It was frowned upon. When it did happen, like I said, I know there's got to be video out there of him saying, "Stop it." And he'd correct me. It's like, "No, you can't say pull over. You got to say move over. Please leave the procession." You're corrected on that because that would be the proper way of doing it. Not you're being pulled over and then after that, just saying you're a cop now. Talking about you're pulling you over. I'm not pulling you over. I'm telling you, please respect the wishes of the person that passed away, and please leave the procession. Please pull to the side and let us go by. From what I've seen on him and looking at it where they're trying to say that he's acting like a police officer because the way we dress and the way our vehicles are, there's 150 different security companies and companies that work down south doing field possession that look the same way. We wear basic uniform that 90% companies in America make you wear a uniform, and that's the way it is. Cars and company cars are marked a certain way. It wasn't to make it look like a police officer. It was to make it look like a uniform company. You can't have 10 different people out there with 10 different color cars. I've never seen them tell me to act like a cop. I have a concealed weapon license, and I don't have a D or a G license. And he's never told me, oh, well, you have a gun and you can carry a gun, wear it on your uniform. He never told me to do that. I carry my gun concealed. If they were doing that on their own, that's their own doing it. And if you're going to do that on your own and you're not doing it by the law, and somebody's telling you to do that, that's your stupidity, because now you're putting yourself at risk. Not the company. If you carry a gun out there illegally, that's your risk. You know the law. You took the oath of the law when you got that permit, or you got that license from the state. It's a sad thing that if somebody's out there trying to give employment to people out there where we're hurting right now in America, because we need people to start employing people, and just because this whole thing has been blown out of proportion now, how many people have lost their jobs or can't work now because of it? And from what I've researched on it, is Orange County is not allowed to do field possessions anymore. That's one of the biggest things, is where they're not allowed to do it. So if another company comes in and doing it, they're trying to stop them from doing it. It's just a sad state that all this money is being spent on one person's view of what the law is. This guy's making the state and the county spend a lot of taxpayers' money to fight this case where there's really not a case to be fought, because you're dissatisfied. Why are you making it your mission? If it was such a big thing, I've done stuff with Daytona Police Department with Jay. I've done stuff with Seminole County PD, Oviedo PD, and never had problems with them. All of a sudden now, Orange County's gonna have a problem with it. If you think one person would have a